Okay, so honestly, before this podcast, like the video, there's gonna be this awesome animation intro and this music that JT's helping me with, but we haven't made it yet. But the people will see it when this comes out, because this probably won't come out till October.
Okay,
this is the 6th one. For people watching, yeah, it's probably annoying. I keep saying that, but it's gonna be sweet, and we haven't made it yet, but it will be in this video. So hopefully it turned out good.
What is the point of saying that?
I don't know. I just thought of that instantly. Because there's gonna be a video of you helping with it, but it will be after this, but it will be in this video. So it's kind of like some Inception stuff. All right, welcome to episode 6 of the SLEWNIVERSE podcast.
Woo!
I'm here with JT, who people know who watch the videos, maybe not everyone, who we've known each other since we were 5 years old, one of my oldest friends. He's a professional trained jazz musician. He now is a musician for hire, playing for Chelsea Cutler. And people know, but I will say it again, I probably would not be here without JT, because he helped me build the first studio. He was like the catalyst for a lot of my creative projects. And that's certainly true. I don't want to give you too much credit, but certainly have to give credit too, because all the old videos, everything that happened with YouTube, you were there from the start. Okay, and without Gavin, my life would be pretty normal. He's also a great friend. I met him through JT, also a professional musician, a musician for hire, plays in the same band as JT. They play for Chelsea Cutler, but Gavin is also does A&R. He's been in New York City for a decade in the music industry. He has his own record label, Parks Rec.
Pack Records.
I'm sorry, I have it here. I was about to combine Bear and Owl. And yeah, it's super awesome. So this is going to be a wonderful podcast, a lot about music, which is like not my whole spiel, but yeah, I think it's going to be a super interesting conversation, because not only are they both, creative professionals, like really trained musicians, but they're, have their fingers in the business world and, that whole world, which is like really interesting. I feel like a lot of people, because my relationship with JT is like, I kind of see it and hear about it, but I think it's something wonderful to dive into that you guys can certainly talk about.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to share.
How was that intro? 1 out of 10?
8, 7.5.
Oh, thanks.
I thought mine was pretty good.
What?
Like if you're combining
yeah.
I thought my intro was better than Gavin's intro.
Okay.
So 7.5.
So nice, yeah. So what's up? So also, before, this is another caveat, this is coming out in October, and you will both be on tour with Chelsea, probably while this is coming out.
That's perfect.
We will be somewhere in the country.
Yeah, so JT is a piano player, Gavin is a drummer. And so Gavin, let's just real quick, you started playing for Chelsea before JT. Can you just walk us through that story real quick? Or like maybe your even life as that, musician for hire in the world.
To be honest, I wasn't a musician for hire before Chelsea. Drumming was just a hobby for me.
Oh, really? Was that like a derogatory thing I said?
No.
Like a mean thing?
No, I just
an assassin for hire.
No one ever told me that I can drum for like a living or drum like for big artists or crowds. Everyone was always like, yeah, it's like a dream. Like that's something that only a couple people get to do. Mm-hmm. So I was focused mostly on the business side of things, and I was playing with my friends in different bands, like psychedelic rock bands and just other rock projects, like just for fun, like after work. But I was drumming like every day. Drumming is just my passion in life. Like beyond everything else, it's what makes me feel the most myself and the most free. And I got the opportunity to drum with Chelsea when her management reached out looking for a sub for her current drummer at the time. And I took vacation from work and went on a week-long tour, and that happened again a month later. And then her drummer couldn't make the tour like pretty much 2 days before they were leaving. It was a sold out tour, her first tour, and they called me and were like, do you want to go? And I said, give me an hour, let me figure this out. I called my mom, my dad, my lawyer, all my best friends, and everyone was like, hell yeah, go do it.
Dropped everything and was like, let's do it.
Yeah, I called my boss. I said, I'm sorry, got an opportunity I can't refuse, and left for tour and never looked back.
That's crazy. And that's like when Chelsea was coming up, like her first big thing.
Yeah, we were doing 250 cap rooms at the time, so it was small. No one knew how things were gonna go.
That's like a tenth of how big she is now.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
More than a tenth.
And JT, similar almost story, right?
I would say similar. Not really. I mean, I have been told my whole life that I could play in front of a lot of people, and that
your maybe agenda with becoming a musician and studying is like, oh, I want to make my own music, and like, I want to be the.
It was. I mean, you could look at it a million ways, but it was definitely seemed like a tangible thing for me since I was like super young. My parents were always like, "You're gonna play music, blah blah blah," and like pushed me to do it. So I did it, and then I also liked doing it. And then in college, I played in some bands, and then I moved to New York, was working at a clothing store, and I was playing a lot, making a lot of music still, but wasn't really doing anything with any music I made ever. I just liked to play. And then I was like, fuck this, I'm going to kind of stop and put it away, like mentally. I just was like, this is too stressful. I'm not going to be able to make money.
The creative stress?
I don't know if it was creative stress. It just, I wasn't doing that much. It just was kind of like, I thought for so long I was going to be able to do it. And then like, I was just working in a clothing store and I wasn't doing it. And I was still somehow thought I was going to be able to do it. But it became real that I wouldn't be able to do it. So then literally in like November or some month around there, a couple years ago, I was like, I'm just going to stop trying right now. And then like 3 days later, Gavin texted me. He's like, yo, I got your number from my brother. Do you want to like audition to play with me and Chelsea?
Can you explain that relationship? Because it's also weird. I mean, Chelsea's not here, but we're all from the same town.
Yeah.
But your touring band is literally all from the same town in Connecticut, which is Westport.
Yeah, it's trippy. I went and visited my brother at UVM where he was going to school, and him and JT are roommates. And we go, our parents are like very close friends. Mm-hmm. And so we've known of each other for years. You know, we like would sit on the chairlift going skiing and not talk to each other, and like
our parents between us type of thing.
Yeah, just like stare at each other.
You were best friends with Chase.
No, I wasn't. Our parents wanted us to be friends.
I thought you were good friends with Chase.
I am now, and I was in college, but our parents wanted us to be friends.
I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, no.
Yeah, we're just like, no.
We went to different schools, and then I ended up becoming Chase's roommate in college, and then Gavin visited Chase one day, and then I knew at the time that like Gavin was in the music industry in some way. I was a senior in college, and Gavin was doing some.
And Gavin, you're how old?
I'm 29 now.
29, so you're 3 years older than us.
Like, yeah, it was like two and a half. I guess it's 3. And so I knew Gavin was coming up to visit Chase, Gavin's brother, and so I was like, oh, this guy's in the music industry. I'm gonna just kind of like somehow persuade him to come into my room and listen to me play piano. Like
it worked. At the Chelsea job? Wait, I'm confused.
No. I mean,
this was years before.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just like, okay.
I was literally wasted. I remember coming back from partying, and I went into JT's room at like 3 a.m. and he just started shredding, and that memory just like never left my brain.
Oh, nice.
And like 2 years later, Chelsea was like, I'm looking for a keyboardist, and all of a sudden I just get this like flashback
Jimmy
memory.
Neutron brain blast.
I was like, oh my God, JT Becker. Like,
yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great story.
So I mean, I just on the deeper level, that just comes down to like just the whole who you know thing and people thing, and like networking
totally
could be more important than your actual skill level. It was like I didn't know what Gavin could do for me, but I'm a social person. And I knew I could play
and why not
something
just
in front
flex
of him.
on him real quick.
So this was your plan the whole time?
It wasn't my plan, but it was like I don't know. Everybody has, I guess, agendas in their life, and if they can use their social skills to kind of make them exist, and I feel like a lot of people do that anyways, but if you do it subtly, it's a little nicer.
Valid. And you never know what doors will open with what experiences. Like that may have been a 20-minute less experience that you never thought would materialize, but
you never know. You literally my whole life is dependent on just random relationships that like turned into something beautiful.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. So that's like the story. And now Chelsea is like her third big tour. She's huge, and she's on an awesome record label. And you also played for Jeremy, and you play for other awesome bands. And it's like you guys are like deep in the industry, which is so cool. And so that kind of leads me. Do you have something to say?
No.
Okay, because this we kind of covered that. I have these like kind of like BS questions that like hopefully will lead to more conversation. But like I said, I kind of through being friends with JT this window into the music industry, and because these kids, one of good friends on the podcast a few people ago were like Tom and Fritz, my friends. They like manage huge companies' social platforms and advertising, like Samsung, and so they are like on the back end of social media for the consumer, but also creating content, which I feel like is a unique perspective that people don't know. And similar to you guys, it's like you guys are musicians, but you are in the huge, like biggest upper echelon industry. I'm just curious, not positive or negative, but it's like, what tidbits randomly could you give that are like, that people may not know about, like the industry? And you guys have your certain, you know, jobs within there, but also Gavin, you know, you are managing artist, you know, you have a record label, and that's like a humongous open-ended question, but maybe we'll spark something. You know, not positive or negative. I'm not saying like, oh, this is like really what it is and it's shitty and it's not what you think and don't become a rock star. But like,
I got a lot.
Yeah,
right, please, rip it.
I think Gavin, I'm not nestled in the music industry as much as Gavin is. I am really just a musician in the music industry, and I don't push anything else besides being a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So everything else, Gavin knows way better than I do.
I would say the most ultimate thing in the music industry as an artist or someone that's inspired to be in the business is don't be discouraged. Because even now, at a place where I own my own record label, I work with really cool artists, I play with a really cool artist, there's always down periods. And it's like doing a drug almost, working in the music industry, because there's really big highs. You'll go on periods like this week, like I had 2 artists on my label, you know, get new music Friday, you know, get a bunch of other playlists, a playlist cover on Spotify. But, you know, we'll put out a single next month with the same artist, and you're expecting all these things, and all of a sudden you get nothing. And you're like, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. There's so much else going on. There's 100,000 tracks like being uploaded to Spotify every day. There's so much politics going on in the industry. And a lot of artists, you know, I talk to so many different artists every day, like small artists, bigger artists, and people get discouraged. And they're like, I'm going to give up. Like,
because of the saturated nature of the industry.
Exactly. And the politics. And I'm like, that's not what it's about. You know, this is about you making art and seeing how your art reacts with people actually listening to it. And don't get discouraged by the industry. You know, change your perspective, focus on the people listening to your music, because those are the people that matter at the end of the day. Not the business. Like, I work in the business, and yeah, it's important to get your art out there, but if you're focusing solely on the business and not on like real people listening to your music, you're doing it wrong, and you're just going to be let down all the time.
Right. But that's like, I think the same weirdly analogy to me and like my artwork. It's like, I still have to be extremely eyeballs on the analytics and like, how can I be more trendy videos, reach more people? So there has to be that balance of also the business side. But like, this is very general, because you're like, does A&R mean artist and representation or repertoire?
I don't even know what it means.
But like you find talent.
Yeah. So like,
and so that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what? So this is a question I have written here in bold, by the way.
Okay.
Like, so you're looking for just pure good musician, feel good music, perhaps in the agenda you're looking for, but that's it. You're not saying, oh, this person has the image, the confidence, the skill level, they can sell tickets. Like, there has to be a pie chart of different things you're perhaps checking your box to put under your business, to put money towards, like to spend and allocate time and resources to, right?
Yeah, it's more than just the music. Obviously, it's the music first. The music draws me in, because I listen to 3 to 4 hours of music a day.
Crazy.
And so I
audiophile, no?
Yeah. So I put like aside all the artists that like really interested me that day or that week, and I will go hit them up. And from there, it's like, how motivated are they to be a real artist? You know, a lot of people make music, but do they really want it? And if I don't feel that they really want it, that they're just like, they have no idea what they want to do with their music or their career, and they're like, I don't know.
I just like making music. And
yeah. It's like, I can't, you know, if we're investing, you know, our time and money and resources and our connections, I can't work with someone who doesn't know what they want to do or is expecting me to hold their hand. They need to have the vision for what their project is, and me and my team, we will go and make sure all those things happen.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, so just be hungry.
Exactly.
And to show that you're hungry.
Exactly. Like, it's like a partnership, you know. We're not we're not coming and putting you in a cradle and making sure that everything goes okay. It's like, you do your work, we'll do our work, and we'll get exactly what you want. If you want this, I've seen it happen. We used to work with an artist named Rayami, and she is doing very well now. When we started working with her, she was at 0, like no streams, no social media presence, but she was hungry. And when we talked to her, she had a vision. She knew exactly what she wanted. Nice. So it made our jobs really easy to go out, make the connections, get all like directors on board for music videos, let everyone know in the industry like what's coming. She was making so much music, and we signed her in like the summer, like 2 years ago. By December, she was on the Times Square billboard. Wow. So that piece being really hungry, and not just like there's so many, like I make music in my apartment, but it doesn't necessarily mean like I'm not focused on it as an artist as much as I want to be, but it doesn't so it's like you got to really want being an artist.
That's interesting. I think that's a great point.
You also you're never biased, I think, towards the music you listen to. Like you listen to a bunch of shit, a bunch of good stuff, and then if something pops out, you'll like it, and then you'll make it known that you like it, I guess, to yourself. And I remember you showed me around me when she had literally like one song, and we were standing outside in the street, and you're like, this girl's dope. Like, I like her a lot. Like that was like the first day you had heard her music, whatever. Yeah. Then like a few months later, yeah, she just was a big part of your life, and it was crazy to see.
Because that's why it's so like, same with, I don't want to bring it back to the painting or visual art world, but like it's such a subjective topic, right? Like
it's all subjective.
And that's why I love, because like me and JT we've talked about this for years, and again, similar, it's like, traditional oil painting and figure drawing, it's like there is right and wrong. There is a structure and a system, and there's a hierarchy of judgment. And same with jazz, right? Drums and piano, right? Like the most famous jazz pianists or drummers are the best, right? The technically best and all, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a fucking musician, but so like
sometimes,
or like it's a general statement to help with my analogy here. But within this world and the music industry, it's like a lot of subjectivity. We're not just the most talented people who are playing drums 20 hours a day for 3 years aren't the people who rise to the top. It's like all this other things, and then they put out work, and it's people like you with the resources or the connections to filter that into the world and gain success. So it's like this very like weird nebulous path that all this takes, and that's what perhaps I'm just putting myself in young kids' perspectives, or JT, when you wanted to make music, it's like that maybe is the thing that seems so difficult and hard to wrap your head around. It's like, I have the passion and I am really talented, but why aren't people listening to my music? Or like, why can't I break through, so to speak?
I mean, I there's also like different categories of music.
Sure,
like you're talking, like you're trying to,
so general.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be the best musician and get a career, and you're that dedicated and that's what you want, you probably can be if you start really young and start whatever age and just work really hard and become really, really skilled. You push yourself, you will ultimately get jobs as session musicians or working in an orchestra or whatever it is. Like there is a career path for musicians that can be monetarily successful. It's definitely way different, way more challenging to try to get into like, I don't know what the word is, but the more popular listening music,
touring artists, and things like that.
But like they're like, yeah, just like there's like oil painting, and it's like there's a right and a wrong. There also is a right and a wrong in a lot of music, and there's a lot of music careers that can be a path. You go to school, you get really good, and then you can be a professor, be a teacher, and spend your whole life training to be a good musician, and it will work if you put the work in. But like, it's the same thing as artistically is, I think, when it gets challenging, when things do become subjective and you can't win a competition because you performed a piece the best.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I don't believe that being the most technical makes you the best at all.
No, totally. That's why I was giving that example.
Because I as a drummer myself, I'm not technical drummer. I literally play from my heart, and I try and support a song as much as I can. Like I can't read music that well. I don't do a lot of things that like a lot of drummers who I envy because they're so great, but I do and will always give like my 100 and will give my heart to the moment. And I think that's why people gravitate towards what I do as a musician.
Yeah. And like that wouldn't work in like an orchestra potentially, or like something where the music's really complicated. Just like the person who's playing that complicated music in the orchestra wouldn't work in your shoes performing live.
No.
Like, you know, like they might be really skilled and technically better than both of us at their specific instruments, but when you see them up there, they're going to be like still and just trying to play the part exactly and provide nothing artistically, which would not land them the job. So I mean, it's almost like two different categories. Like,
no, I mean, I
it's like
separated those categories to give light to this subjectivity of
it's
like,
like
what art is.
It's like sport.
super
It's like
subjective.
sport.
Yeah.
It's like sport versus art.
Mhm.
Like
100%.
skill development versus
100%.
creativity.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just such a interesting topic because, like, you know, movies are popular, visual art is popular, but music, you know, is the cornerstone of culture, right? Like, arguably, like
100%.
everyone listens to music. Everyone knows there's a million genres that you could, but like, it is what, you know, it's like the most popular thing. And how many, and just in terms of saying that, it's like how many of those kids want to become musicians over painters or over, you know, other things. So it's like music is the thing. So that's why I think it's such an interesting conversation, because there's like those kind of two different routes of like being a professional athlete within music or being a super creative, you know, whatever. But
I mean, they can also blend. Like,
Totally.
like the music director John that we work with is just the most technically skilled person in the entire world, and he was so good by like 21, and now he's doing the creative stuff, and he's filthy at that now.
yeah.
So it can blend, definitely.
Yeah, like Picasso's quotes, like, you have to learn the rules to be able to break them.
Yeah,
Whatever
totally.
that is. Yeah, I think that's a good.
Or just break them out the gate.
Yeah,
I look for rule breakers.
yeah.
Because that's just, I never
More
play
fun?
by the rules. Yeah, I just don't. It's more fun, and it's what it's what inspires me when I see someone doing something differently, or like taking something and flipping it on its head. Like that's what gets me going.
That's a perfect segue, because that's what I want to ask you. Because of the insane amount of influx you're saying, there's 100,000 songs on Spotify a week. You're listening to 4 hours
A
of music.
day.
Yeah, a day. Sorry. Yeah.
700,000 a week then.
So what is something new to you? You know, what is different with this gigantic, you know, crock pot and sample size of music upload every day? Like, could you give us some context of what you think, like some actual detail, or what you think about that idea of being different within the music or a sound?
Yeah. I mean, I think the word genre is almost archaic at this point.
Ooh, I like that.
It's not about genre anymore. It's about feeling. It's about pure feeling. It's because everyone, you know, has the tools now. It's on everyone's computers. The music now is like, the music I'm listening to is just, they're pulling from everywhere, from, you know, music from the 70s, music from the 90s, music from the 2000s, and it's like this big mush of whatever. And it's the feelings that people are putting into their music and figuring out how to like mix one genre with another to create some new feeling. I think that's what is really different to me, when someone can, you know, touch my heart. You know, I listen to a song that, and the sound, like one of the sounds can be like this like really dark song, and then the next song I listen to them, it's this like it's this light song, but the sound that they're making by mixing all these influences together, it stays consistent through each, but they're able to pull out these really tangible feelings that I can't put into words. So
or
that's
emotions, like,
emotions,
like
feelings,
high energy or low or love or blah blah blah.
So that's what I look for. I don't look for a genre. I never listen for genre.
I think I mean, again, I'm not like an audio head like you, but it's totally true that like this idea of genre is dead, because there's too many splicing of every little idea of music, cornerstone of, you know, jazz, and it's like there's too many.
Yeah.
You know, it would be impossible. You'd have a infinite, forever list of different genres. It's just, yeah, what is this? You know, what is this sound or song or lyrics combined with everything else making you feel? Or is it bringing emotion? Or is it, yeah.
Yeah, I think also it's funny because if you talk about training a skill or practicing a skill, I don't think people would categorize listening to music and analyzing it. I mean, a lot of people would, but listening to music and analyzing or just knowing if you like it is a skill. Growing up, I never really had an opinion on music. I wasn't that confident in my opinion of music, and then after spending so much time with Gavin, you can see after years of listening to music and doing things based on feel, whether it's playing or using feel to accentuate your playing ability, he's so practiced in knowing what he likes in music and knowing if it feels good. He doesn't have to think about if it feels good. If you play it you'll know if it feels good. There's no hesitation between whether or not it feels good. As for me, if you play a song for me, I'm not gonna know if I like the song unless I hear it a couple times in a row, and then I'll know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have that too. Like last night we put on a couple songs, and 17 seconds in, you're just like, don't like that, and it's like usually you are right to yourself that you don't like the song. It's very challenging for me.
But then like I think I'm the same way. Like a lot of the music I listen to is things I hear listening with my friends, and maybe the first time I won't hear it or like it or even have any reaction, but then they'll play it again and I'll be with them and I'll be like, oh, I heard that now, oh, I like it, and like I really like it. So I'm like, that's what I think. That's a great point, like being a practiced listener, which is like this abstract idea, but I certainly don't have that. But it takes me as a greenhorn layman, a mere mortal.
And Chelsea also, like Chelsea knows what she likes.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why Chelsea's music is
As making music or listening?
Both.
So both. I think one of the reasons that Chelsea stands out probably piggybacks on Gavin's point about knowing what you want. Like if you're making music with Chelsea, you're hanging out with Chelsea, and like she plays or someone plays something for her, whether they're making a song with her, it's literally yes or no. There's no other options. There's no like maybe like this could grow. It's literally just like she knows, and it's so obvious.
Yeah,
that she knows.
We were driving back from Long Island last night, listening to New Music Friday, because it updates at midnight on Thursday, and we were driving back at like 12:30 from a shoot, and we just went through. It was like 100 songs. We're just quick. And if we like the song, we listen to the whole thing. No, it was just instant. 5 seconds in, we just know.
What was there times? I think that you have you listen to a broad range of music. Were there times when you guys disagreed?
This time, no. I mean, there's definitely times.
Well, I guess New Music Friday has not a genre, but it is a category of music essentially.
Yeah. It's
is it?
So
yeah.
No, it's not a category, but it's like the bangers, the bunch of bangers. So
From
it's not
the big people.
It's mostly big people, but there'll be some smaller artists like spread throughout there that they're trying to promote. Like we had a record on there yesterday from an upcoming artist we're working with called Godford, and his music is it's like indie rave music, and so it doesn't really fit into mainstream music that much, but it has a lot of feeling to it, and it got put on New Music Friday. It's his first single of his next like album, and so we were really excited about that. And I didn't think Chelsea was gonna like it. I was like here, like, because we got to Godford, and I was like, I don't know if you're gonna like this, but this is the song, and she actually liked it. I was really surprised. So.
It's also funny because when Gavin shows us music, if he's playing the song, I think we're all a little bit more open-minded about whether or not we like the song because we're kind of like,
because he's the wizard.
Not a wizard at all. Just kidding. But if he's showing us a song, it's like, okay, this might sound weird and fucked up or strange or unique, but there is a reason he chose it. So we have like I
agree.
All of our opinions will be jaded when Gavin shows us a song forever.
Because it's like I trust people. Like this abstract idea of like listening to music and knowing what you like. Obviously, I'm gonna have my own opinions that have no influence to Gavin. But if I know that Gavin, that's his job, that's his life, that's how much passion he has, and he says, "Hey, SLEW, look, fucking hear this song. It's pretty awesome." I'm like, well, okay, it's totally gonna be biased.
Yeah, but then it could
be biased. But then maybe I'll still hate it. But it's like I'm gonna trust people, just like anything. If any skilled person tells me something, it's like, you'd be stupid not to listen to them.
Yeah, but then it could be problematic because...
Right, he's not a god.
No, because now I'm like, I find myself, Gavin shows me a song, and I don't mean to, but I subconsciously force myself to like the song because I'm like...
Okay, so you're getting in the weeds now.
Yeah, I'm getting in the weeds, but I think it's just...
That's true.
Yeah, but I mean, as from a business side of things,
you're just a human.
That's what you're trying to get to. You're trying to get to that trust, because at the end of the day, it's trust. It's like when I put an ad on Instagram for a song to reach random people, like that won't touch them the same way as like if like I was to tell you like, oh dude, listen to this song, and if you heard that song through an Instagram ad, you wouldn't feel the same way for maybe like 5 to 8 times of listening to it. But if someone you trust tells you that like this is the song, this is a banger, you're gonna be like, I trust this person, like blah blah, like I love this song too.
That's funny. You almost have a title you've developed, like a social title, which is funny. Like you have a resume of trust being built, which is funny.
That's why and that's why like literally like the only thing I think about when building like a social media like fan base and growing followers is to develop trust, so I can show them music that I like, so they like it too because they trust me.
Yeah,
but I mean, That's
great.
it's why like we listen to radio stations, or why we even like listen to certain playlists that Spotify generates or whatever it may
Because
be.
you trust it.
'Cause I trust the playlist.
Right.
You can listen to feel good indie rock, whatever the playlist you decide to, because at the end of the day, you trust who made that playlist.
Yeah, it's
usually pretty good.
It's a curated
Yeah.
platter of your interests.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what AI algorithms for watching YouTube videos are, but
It's also an invisible skill, kind of. I guess unless you put like your metrics behind it and show that you have had progress in making artists big, it's like an invisible skill, not
Sure.
not like
Mhm.
oh, this guy's good at listening to music.
no, I know. what you mean.
Where is it?
Yeah. I mean, it shows in the work that you do.
Yeah.
You know?
And of course, Gavin's not right. There is no right or wrong.
No,
It's
there
Yeah,
is
just-
no right.
he's
it's
wrong.
just-
He's wrong most of the time.
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Like,
It's just such an interesting conversation, though, you know,
Yeah.
because it's like a very, you know, there's no rigorous, you know, structure around this idea, but it's like totally true with the effect that someone has, and like, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like, there's so many different factors that can play into why you like a song.
And on top of it, you are a musician, so it makes me trust you even more. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like all of the fingers, or it's like, okay, if I hate this song and Gavin likes it, there's something wrong with me. Like,
I
Yeah,
hate making people feel bad when I don't like a song that they like.
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, you're an
I'm-
elitist.
That's
You're
what I was
a music
saying.
elitist.
I don't try to be a music elitist, but I'm open with my opinion. If someone's like, do you like this song? If I don't like it, I'm gonna say no.
Mhm.
And people usually feel like they have a bad taste when I say
Yeah.
no to the song that they like.
Will you guys say if you like Chelsea's song or not?
To her, I mean,
Yeah.
I literally genuinely love her songs.
I do too.
I know,
her
but I'm
Playing
just
them.
saying if they're like, because you're not maybe.
Yeah,
in
no.
a much
Chelsea's
creative process
Chelsea's
with
asked
her.
us. I mean, I guess that's another hard thing in music, like honesty, because everybody's making art. Like when someone shows you a painting, you're probably not gonna be like, I don't like that. It's
Mhm.
more like a respectful artist will say, like, do you like this one or this one more?
Yeah, it's
no,
constructive critique
yeah.
or analysis.
no one's ever gonna be like, I mean, maybe you can disagree, but like, it's a good artist is not gonna put you in an uncomfortable situation to ask you whether or not their song is good.
Well, also, who
'Cause,
wants a
like-
black and white answer? Yes or
Yeah.
no? It's like,
It
okay,
can be
maybe
black
this.
and white.
Yeah, like maybe the structure and the composition I don't like. I love the colors. I love, you know, the lighting design. Or in music, I love the chorus or the core. You know, it's like, so
Yeah.
no one's gonna be like, I don't like this song.
There's always
I like this
feedback that can be given, but giving a yes or no answer is just not even acceptable.
Yeah,
Because the artist is expressing themselves, you know, and that if that's how they're expressing themselves, like you can never put that down. You have to always respect the artist.
They literally teach you critiquing skills in like art school. Like they teach you how to
Yeah.
talk
They
about
should, yeah.
like art. Not, you never say black and white things. It's always like an analysis on this and how this relates to this, or my idea of maybe this could be something else here. You know, so it's true. It's like, yeah, you should eat sand if you say yes or no.
Yeah,
things,
but
you know?
but like, you know, Chelsea can ask like, do we think this song fits in this spot on the set list?
Mm.
And then you can say yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
cool.
like positioning, or like, you know, but like never with someone. I don't think artists should and need to ever ask if they're.
Are you guys excited for the tour?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Really? Why? Tell me why.
I love playing in front of people.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Like, I remember the first tour, I was going through some very confusing times just internally,
Mm.
just about like what, not even about what my purpose is, just about like, I was going through like some, like feeling some hard feelings from like past relationships and just feeling like really broken in my heart
Mm.
and just like not sure how to use it anymore. And going on that first tour like really opened that back up for me, like opened my heart fully to like accept love and give love, because it's just like so many people like telling you they love you and like they
Yeah.
don't know me, and like
And also, you're just ripping.
yeah, just having the best, just expressing myself fully, you know, like I said earlier,
vulnerable
like,
as shit.
yeah, I feel most myself when I'm on my drums.
Mhm.
And so like that, the back and forth relationship between like us playing on stage and the people in the audience yelling every word of every song and like being so excited and talking to them afterwards just fills you up so much, and then you like overflow and give back. And so like that, it helped me like emotionally in so many ways. So I'm just excited to like feel that again too.
Oh, yeah.
And also just express myself how I feel truly to everybody.
Mm.
Yeah.
Same with you, JT.
Yeah, same with me. It's a crazy feeling when you get so much love thrown at you on tour. It's like you can't really duplicate it in many other scenarios. Like you could be independently successful, accomplish something you want to do that day, and feel really good about yourself. Do a hard workout, do a hard whatever it may be, and you can feel really good. But like I almost forgotten what it feels like, because it's like after you play a show and you talk to a bunch of people, you're just like you're shaking, you're moving.
Well,
and
when
like,
else do you get random people
and thousands of
you
them
saying you love
screaming?
it? Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm trying to think of another situation.
Like me and Gavin will like run backstage or whatever in the middle of the show when like Chelsea's playing or a little solo part, or like after the show's over, and we're just like laughing at each other and just like staring each other in the eyes, and it's just like you're like it's
That's cool.
Like, this is crazy.
It's like very primal in a way. It just removes all the bullshit that exists in life, and you're just looking at each other. It's like, yo,
like, yeah, we're doing it. Like, this is sick.
Yeah,
like,
and you guys aren't cocky people, so it's not like an ego trip, right?
no,
no,
yeah.
it's just all love. It's just so.
Also, our squad,
so
the squad we toured is just like,
yeah, you guys have a good squad.
it's like a joke how good the squad is. It's
so fun. Yeah.
Well, no, it's funny. It's not to interrupt, but it's like you all have significant others. You have girlfriends and boyfriends, so it's not like one of these gluttonous, drug-filled like partying tours. It's like music, fun times, hanging, and just like playing music,
100%,
which is kind of pure.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not on it, but from what I hear,
it's very pure. It's such a pure group of good people, and like the show is the party. Like everyone's always like, we go out sometimes after the show, but like for me, like if I go out after the show, that's the after party. The show is like, it's like that is it.
Totally, bro.
like there's like that is a celebration of life to the fullest. And so like going out is like, it's like most of the time we just go back in the bus and all hang out together and like be happy. So
yeah, be happy.
how's the backflip working out?
It hasn't happened because I just like I wanted to get someone to like help me learn, and so it was like, yeah, it's like 200 an hour. I'm like,
Are you serious? So you're really
To
trying
teach
to
you-
go?
to
there's a place right around here.
Dude, that jump is insane. Like Cirque du Soleil might break their ankles doing that jump.
Yeah.
For what the people don't know, we'll probably overlay in this video. Gavin has a signature move. What is your signature move?
I jump over my drum kit.
At a certain point within the set.
Yeah,
And it's like a big jump.
Yeah, it's a big. I mean, depending on like the stage design, it could be like our last tour was a big jump, like because we were raised up on risers, and so it was like I jumped over my drum kit and then like fell like 5 feet.
Right. Yeah.
But then there's also a high part, so like
Yeah.
depending on the width of the stage, like if the stage is this wide, you had to you were clear, but if it was closer, there's like a bracket, so you have to jump and then
A duck. Yeah, the first time we did on the last tour, I didn't realize how close it was.
I was screaming, but he couldn't hear. I'm like, watch your head.
I literally like did the weirdest wave maneuver with my body. Like I didn't know it was possible.
Landed 2 inches from the corner.
Like I landed like this against the back of the riser.
Jeez.
Like, there's a video of it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
And
funny.
so doing a backflip over that just seems like the most extreme move ever.
It doesn't seem that extreme to me
People
if I'm
would like
able to
probably
do
go
it.
silent.
Yeah.
You know, you would have all the rage, and then people would be like,
yeah.
that'd be dramatic.
It's gonna happen. I just don't know when, because I just want I need at least a month to like practice it.
But what about like a backflip is so specific? What about just like a rollover, like a
misty?
like a mist? So you're just throwing your shoulder over, and then you can because backflip, it's like you're not doing a gainer
Well, I was thinking I would turn around backwards because
and then spring back.
exactly, because then I have all this space in the air and my feet come around and I land looking at my drum set.
No, yeah, and I told you backflips are easier than people think. It's just the fear factor. That's
Exactly.
challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because you're even talking about this as a drummer. Like what? Like this has nothing to do with drumming. But like I think it stems from experiencing looking for feelings or like experience. Yeah,
I love adrenaline.
Your experience in feelings has motivated you to want to feel really intensely. So you jump over your drum kit. Like no one else is really gonna do that or even think it's like something to do, should do, could do if it's okay if you do it. And you're just like, this is gonna be sick. Like I feel really good from doing this.
Well, it's just expressing myself to the fullest. It's
Yeah.
just like I don't remember. There's some quote I don't remember what artist said it, but it's like playing your instrument so hard that the life force that's flowing through you just like blows up everything around you.
Mm-hmm.
Like just if like you're playing a saxophone, it's like your reed breaks and you just keep playing, or you just smash the saxophone into the ground because you're just like fully just accepting whatever life force is flowing through you. And that's how I want to play the drums.
And like the jump is the explosion.
Yeah, it's like I'm coming through my instrument.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's I guess also another thing to touch upon when you ask about like performing on stage is Gavin's position as a drummer is I guess it's he can express himself. The stage and type of music that we're playing makes drumming a really good avenue to express yourself in the situations we're in. As a piano player, like my most expressive moments are like at night or when I'm alone and I'm playing quietly and I'm playing like intimately, and that's where my feelings come out. So it's a little bit more challenging for me to have the boost in musical feelings because it doesn't present itself as easily in that environment. But yeah, I mean, if Gavin was to play drums like quietly at night before he went to bed, the feeling wouldn't be there.
No.
So it's like,
great point.
Yeah. So there's a time and a place, I guess, for every instrument, and I guess the way that I would play through my instrument would be in a way more intimate, low light, like wine drinking setting.
Classical piano.
Yeah, but you're gonna get some runs this time.
Yeah, we'll see. But
what did your tour guy said? Prepare for some more chords,
some more runs and stuff. But
what does that mean? Runs? Come on
like,
now. Oh, so just like little riffs.
Yeah, little riffs. But
you gotta
that doesn't mean I don't have the best time ever. And like for me, I feel really, really good in a show when I play everything like perfectly, and I hit everything like not a mistake. Because there are shows and I don't make one mistake, and that's when I feel really good. And then there are certain parts of certain songs that I feel good because I get to improvise a little bit more than usual, and those times feel really good too.
Because like I love the idea. Also, it's like you have your individual job, you have your job. Chelsea, obviously, kind of like the peak of the triangle, but you are within those individual jobs are performing. You know, your function is to like entertain within your individual jobs. Like you're putting on a show, it's entertainment. Yes, you're like literally playing instruments, but it's like for this bigger idea of like a show. And you know, what's the show? An hour? A set's an hour or an hour 20?
Yeah, hour 20.
Yeah, so it's like
I think this one's 45 minutes. The next tour.
I think this is 50 or something.
50. Yeah.
But then there's someone after us. Yeah, Gavin is a very good performer. Yeah, he's.
And I told you are a high energy drummer, and people look up to that in the drumming world.
Yeah, the thing is like
you're talking about skill and reading music, but that your literal physicality is like the energy drive, but is like a thing that because like dude, I know we all know you're nice and fit and buff, but like drumming crazy hard for an hour, like that's gotta be draining.
Yeah. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But in terms like that's what I'm saying. Like the explosivity that's like what people, compare drummers as. It's like the energy they're putting in.
Yeah, but that's just me.
No, it's so funny. It's so funny how drumming parallels with your life so well. It's funny, right? But it is. Like, it makes so much sense that you're a drummer in the way I see you live your life and the way that you do drum. So it's very encouraging for other people to find something and things in their life that really match them, because they'll promote each other, promote themselves.
I think I could see piano with you. I like what you said about before, like where you find your energy and like the intimacy of playing. It's like you're a very meticulous, like
focused,
analytical person, like extremely sharp, and I feel like that's like a lot of attributes of piano. Again, I'm not a pianist.
I could never do what you do.
Yeah.
I guess it's just I
mean, we're just trying to fish here, but like, it makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I was trying to think about what.
And I brought you a piano to play. Can you imagine that if I brought a little like harmonica? I should have.
Yeah. Piano's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could play piano. It's way more sexy of an instrument. To be honest.
Definitely.
Like, I wish I can
instrument.
And JT says he wishes he could play his guitar.
That's also a sexy instrument.
We all want to play different instruments.
No. But like, if like I can't like I can't bring my girlfriend home and be like, let me like serenade you. Like I could never serenade.
Sarah made you.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Hey.
But I could never like be like, I'm gonna go home and play some drums for you,
baby.
No one wants that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no one wants
that. Kick drum, bitch.
I wish I could just go home and
dude,
rip.
he could get off stage sweating and just fucking muscles pumped. That's pretty sick too.
Yeah.
But there's I don't know. Sometimes I think this point is true. Sometimes I think this point is wrong. That a lot of people are level, whether it's mentally, smart, physically, and everything levels out. So Gavin's fun on stage equals my fun at night. Everything just becomes level. That it prevents you from being jealous, because if you see someone doing something really sick and like you get jealous of them, you could be like, well, I'm probably way sicker at something else than they're not. So we're actually on the same level.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yin and yang. It's all.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure, yeah.
everything is about balance. Everything.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's
like-
so cool. And that's like, I mean, again, I feel like I've heard a lot of this because of JT and our friendship, and he loves to talk and I love to listen. We constantly, like, it's all, I've loved this relationship, not to sound all deep and hippy dippy, but like analogy, like comparing our practices, like music and art. There's so many similarities, and it's like a language within both, but there's so many differences. But, you know, JT understands me and my practice because we've grown up together, and I kind of understand his. So to like kind of communicate, they're different languages, but like the communication between both of them, it's super interesting. But I think hopefully people listening are super intrigued, because this is all, you know, I don't think normal people get this sort of insight between, you know, professional musicians, touring musicians, or like things like that.
I didn't even know, like, I never even looked at touring musicians as like existing. I never even saw them on stage. Like if I saw, like in like smaller bands and smaller venues, I saw them, but I never looked at a pop group at like playing like the Super Bowl or some huge group. I never looked at the people in the back and was like, I never really wondered or about
And
their
no one's
lives.
looking at you, man.
Yeah, nobody looks at me. I'm so sure that I have to stand on a stool just to play.
Are you guys gonna do the drumstick pass?
I think we'll get some.
Have you
passes in.
have you ever messed it up?
We've done it a few times.
I've seen like
we don't
4 or
mess.
5
We don't mess things up.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like that's like a high risk.
he's got a bunch of drumsticks too. So
Yeah,
But that's
like,
a high risk maneuver.
No, the worst case is I drop it or he drops it, and then he.
Well,
has
that's what I'm
his drum-
saying.
But me and JT are like super in tune on tour. Like we eat the same food. Like we wake up at the same time.
Nice.
We walk at the same pace. Like
Yeah.
we're just like I'll bottle flip, he'll bottle flip. It's just like it's like we were just like
That's funny.
we're a unit on
That's
tour.
awesome.
So it's like
Sleep
yeah.
literally right across from each other in the bus, and sleep in the same hotel room when we have hotel rooms. It's
Yeah.
funny because we have the same taste buds too, so we can order food for each other.
Yeah.
It's just like
Wow.
It's really great. Yeah.
Maybe this is all the mastermind of Chelsea, just making an efficient
Yeah.
band group.
She is a genius. So
she's a genius, very smart.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, but I'm saying like that. It's not super far, but there could be. You're an athletic, agile person, but there could be a lot of issues
But
with
nothing.
throwing
But I
that
mean,
stick.
the worst case scenario is
Of course, I mean,
Nothing
he just
happens.
grabs another one. But I'm saying for the crowd, they're like, oh,
the crowd's
they
not. The
fucked
crowd
up.
doesn't see it that much. I mean, like
they probably don't see it. It's just for me and
I bet
JT
you-
to have
Really?
fun.
definitely gotta
Until we
see
post
it.
a video afterwards,
Okay,
then
well,
people
yeah.
see it. But everyone's looking at Chelsea, and me and
That's
JT are just
right.
having fun back there. Like
Yeah.
we'll throw air balls at each
Yeah.
other, like catch it. It's just like woo.
yeah,
It's
like
like
a bunch of
I'll
dumb
eat it.
shit. in the
So
bag.
how many shows on this tour
24,
in 7 weeks?
47 days.
Wow.
Ooh,
Was that like a
I didn't know
standard
that.
tour?
How do you know that?
Did the math like 2 days ago.
Oh, nice.
He's on it. So is that like a standard tour?
I don't know. I
Is
don't
that
know what
long?
a standard
I
tour
don't
is.
know either.
Things
I guess that's
change.
like a regular.
That's like a
US
national tour.
I would
Yeah.
say that they're between 6 weeks and 8 weeks. But we have like rehearsals and stuff. And actually, the 47 days is including 5 days prior to that. So it's actually 24 shows and 40.
It's like
3 days,
it's pretty
14
packed in.
days.
We don't have a lot of off days on this tour.
Right. Well,
And
naturally.
we have fly out dates. We have to fly to.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
We were playing live at 5 in Connecticut.
We were talking about that
That's
because
so
I
funny.
told JT I went to one 2 years ago, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
popping.
We've never done
Yeah.
a Connecticut show, and we're all from Connecticut, and
Well, you
I
think it
used
would
to
be
go
kind
there.
of shitty and lame, maybe, but
No way.
But no, but I did
Oh.
from living there.
Well,
Well, I lived there, but I never been. I heard my sisters went, my friends went, Alive at 5, but there's huge rappers. There's Sammy Adams, the other guy that I can't think of again, and crowd packed, wild, it was awesome.
They got
it was
Sugar
awesome.
Ray and Earth, Wind, and Fire to play
Yeah.
that stuff. I'm
Modest
stoked.
Yahoo and Damian
Yeah.
Marley.
Oh my god.
This one?
No, no.
That's,
It's like the usual line.
I think it might be. I think it might be a different venue though. I could be wrong if it's going to be in that little
That's what you
area.
were saying.
Someone told me that recently actually. That it could be there, but I don't know.
I'm excited. I'm excited to play
Very
Live at
excited.
5.
But what about Red Rocks?
I mean, obviously, that's our entrance back to the world. That's our first show playing Red Rocks.
Is that one of the peaks
Yeah.
Yeah.
of performance?
No.
Yeah.
Because
That's
that place is Mars.
it's a holy grail.
It's the
Yeah.
one of the holy grails. It's gotta be, right?
Playing once was the best thing ever. Playing twice, it's just what did I do to deserve this? I don't
Seriously, it's so sick.
It's such a blessing to play there.
Yeah. It's gonna be really fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. You just play for the rocks. You don't even play like
Totally,
the
dude.
people are there and they're like a moving.
And they're all above you.
rock.
The
Yeah,
Rocks
yeah.
have been there for a billion years, bro.
The stage is level with the first row.
That's it's like the only place. Are we gonna play more plays like that?
I mean, like stadiums have that, but like it's not like a direct shoot up. Like it literally,
It's like an amphitheater. Is that what it's
Yeah.
called?
it's like a wall.
Right. So you're the lowest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
No,
the
no, I've been
lowest.
there before, like a few times. But
Yeah.
in terms of you being.
Oh, you been there?
Yeah. But yeah, I guess you're right because usually you guys are the tallest, right, on stage.
Yeah,
Like, you're
usually
looking
we're-
down.
usually
That's
we're-
generically how.
yeah. It's
Interesting.
fun looking up. It's
Totally,
fun looking up.
dude. It's like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
wave.
It's good for my neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I'm looking down all the time. It's like good to get like a change of pace, look up, stretch the neck out differently.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I feel like a giraffe.
Hopefully, I'll get to come to one of the shows. I mean, maybe the New York one.
You came to one.
Yeah, it was so sick. It was so fun with your parents and all your friends. There's a lot of people there that.
Yeah,
I
you
knew.
come to the New York. New York
That's
ones
the
are
best
crazy.
part about Chelsea shows. It's the best part. Like
What?
all my friends like listen to mostly like rock music,
Mhm.
and they come to a Chelsea show and they have the best time ever because
So
the show
fun.
is banging.
Dude, the show is good, and I'm not here to say like suck Chelsea's dick. Be like, I don't generally listen to her music, but like the show is awesome. You
Yeah.
you can't
The
not have a
best
fun
show.
time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the lights, knowing you guys, like the performance, like it's so fun. It's such a good experience. And the tour when I went it was just Chelsea. Like there wasn't a.
Oh, you
She was
went
headlining,
no,
is
you went
that
to
what
the
it's
first
called?
one. Anthony Russo is opening,
Okay.
and then it was,
Okay.
and that was at
And this one, Quinn, is
Irving
the
Plaza.
headliner.
It was
But you
Irving
guys
Plaza.
both do like an hour, and like they're the same label.
yeah,
I think so.
same management. I think our set's gonna be a few minutes shorter.
I'm excited for the show though. The openers who's opening for us is super cool too.
Hey, okay.
No, Ty Verdes.
Oh, yeah.
But A-OK, the song.
Oh, but he. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
A-OK, the artist is
Yeah, that's
for
confusing.
Red Rocks.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right.
Ty Verdes, who has that song A-OK, is opening
Yeah.
on the tour.
No, that's
Red
so
Rocks
awesome.
isn't part of the tour.
Yeah, I feel like that whole management again. I know is 0%, but it seems like they're just killing it, and they just
They
do
do
a
great.
really
They're really good
job.
people, and
Yeah.
the artists are great.
They are good people,
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
sure. Good people.
Yeah,
like-
it's lovely to see good people winning.
Totally, man. I mean, it just makes you want to win more or just involve good people.
Yeah, they inspire me every day. To be the best I can be.
And like that's so weird because you're kind of on both sides. Like you're like the insider trader of the music industry. Like, you're playing and you're a musician, but you're also
Is
doing the
that
same
illegal?
thing.
I don't know. I learn a lot.
Does it inform you with your
Oh, yeah.
with your
Yeah.
pack
Yeah.
records?
Yeah, I bring a lot of what I learned on tour and like overhearing different conversations
Got to
and
be right.
how things are dealt with because they're like a couple steps ahead of like any of the artists I work with.
Mm.
So it's like it's really good. I get a lot of information of like, okay, when we get to this step, like I know what to do. I know how to handle a situation.
Mm.
I know what's needed for different things, and yeah, I'm always listening.
Finesser, dude.
Yeah, experiences over money in some scenarios is very important.
Yeah,
You could have a sick, crazy job and maybe do music, A&R, and your whole thing on the side, but you would have negative experience to work off of.
100%.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet, huh?
Pretty sweet. I began drawing recently.
Yeah, that's something else I kind of want to say. Look at this question right here. Do you have another creative practice?
Oh.
What else do you do that's creative? Open-ended question. Now, maybe we'll start with JT because
Cool.
your life has been so music heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, awesome support your family, insane skill and talent over decades of hard work. But now you're trying to dive into something else and putting a lot of work into it, which is what?
Drawing to tattoo.
We've been vlogging a little, but yeah, so
Yeah.
that's so awesome because not a lot of people do that. Like I can never see myself. I mean, I guess it's different. I can never see myself like
Switching.
so hard.
Yeah.
Putting an insane amount of work in switching.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I could probably talk about this for hours because it's all I've been doing. I've been living in Colorado with my
could
girlfriend and my dog, just kind of being alone with our thoughts and our lives and our work and stuff, and collecting unemployment. So, and having free rent. So I had time. And
So COVID life.
yeah, but whatever. So I had time to try to do something else. And I was like, I love creative. I love working. And I think what it comes down. So I've been drawing a lot, 3 to 5 hours a day.
With the function to become.
With the purpose of becoming a tattoo artist. And it was funny because I've known Sam forever, and Sam was painter guy and I'm music guy. I've been a music guy since I was 5. Sam's been painter dude since he was like 12. And then there was like, and it was kind of intimidating being like, okay, well, can I talk to Sam now that I'm trying to be a drawer, or like, is it okay? Like, is that cool? Like, can I put music aside? And like, you know, so like the first week or two, I wasn't saying anything, and then I was like, yo, dude, I drew this. And he's like, nice. And then I'm like, all right, I'm trying to draw. And then Sam's like, okay, cool, and was like helping me. And I came out to New York for him to help me a little bit and teach me how to draw. But I think ultimately, like with whatever I'm doing, whenever I've learned from this crazy switch, people who know me, Gavin and Sam, know that like I get super hyper focused on one thing and one thing only, and sometimes I burn out. It's been about 7 months of this drawing and I haven't burned out yet, so
a good sign.
It's a good sign.
It's a great sign.
It's usually about 3 to 6 month phase, working out, whatever it may be, skiing.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's still going, which is nice to see. But I think what it comes down to is like ultimately tracking my own progress makes me very satisfied, and also like any medium that I use to get into a flow state, I will do, whether it's like spike ball or surfing or skiing or riding the subway. If like hiking, whatever. Like,
you getting flow on the subway?
No, but I'm just saying, no flow on the subway. Sometimes flow walking though in the streets, like
totally.
Walking is
meditation, maybe.
I think recently drawing with this progress, I've been able to get into this flow state, and like any medium you can use to get into a flow state, I think is so awesome. And I don't think it really matters what you're doing as long as you can just get into that mind where like you're just so present and so there.
And the natural, like you clearly are naturally passionate about it. Like no one's forcing you. You're not like, oh, I'm putting pressure on myself. Draw. You just want to do it.
But I don't think I'm not passionate about drawing. I'm passionate about feeling the way that drawing lets me feel.
Right. That's
not and not even creatively.
And
like,
I'm not even saying the medium. I'm saying self-improvement. Seeing yourself improve is like a drug, whatever it may be. Learning to surf better. Yeah, you want to barrel out and surf a wave.
So for me, I guess now to analyze it more, seeing the self-improvement is the flow. That is how that's the medium.
I completely agree.
Improvement equals the flow, which is and drawing is really quick. You just start and like there's no setup, there's no build up really. It's just nice and easy and quick, and you can just get to doing it.
Love it.
But it definitely took a while to like just like be like, I'm gonna go for it. And then once you commit, you just really have to commit. If you half-ass it, like nothing's gonna get done.
So that's so interesting. So not because you're friends with me, but like were you nervous to be like, oh, I've been the music guy and now I want to be drawing, visual? You thought there was like, oh, I guess I need to think of myself as this, or is like there was any hesitation? Am I being too deep and overthinking it? Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think
like the reservations.
Yeah, I think for me it was like I'm just so bad. I'm so bad. And I'm 26, which I know is young, but it feels old. So it's like, I guess just being like, accepting how shitty I am and looking like, it's like admitting help. Like I need help. It's just a funny thing.
Also from your experience of being an extremely talented musician. It's like, I'm shitty at this, but I'm so good at this other thing. It's like,
yeah, it's funny because I got good at piano when I was super young. So I've always been really good I've been this good for a long time in my life. So it's funny to just like, it's so easy for me to be at that level, and it takes no effort essentially to be at that level anymore. It's so funny just to like start something new and be the worst.
Humble pie, baby.
At the same age. And
it's so fun though. You know, there's so much to learn.
It's so fun, but then
learning's so fun.
It is fun. It's fun when you're like being in Colorado and alone. It's really fun because I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I don't see art.
As you shouldn't.
But as soon as you get to New York and you walk down the streets and see these crazy murals that you could never do, then you start comparing yourself. Yeah. But social media can be hard on your mind.
Comparison is the death of joy.
Yeah.
It's cool. What does that mean?
That's Ernest Hemingway. I mean, it's just a great thing, but it's like but like you're doing it for the right reasons. You're not trying to become. I mean, you're trying to become a tattoo artist. And you could have your own practice, but you're not trying to work for someone. You're not trying to be in a gallery. You're literally just like, hey, I realize that I like drawing. I want to become a tattoo artist. I'm generalizing it, and so it's for the right reasons. I'm saying, and that's like the most important thing. And if you do it for any other reason, in my opinion, I've talked about this a lot, you will set yourself up for failure. If you have these crazy expectations, if you have these ideas of grandeur, of success, or whatever, it's like, it has to be just because you enjoy it and I don't know, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I think
for you.
No, to end it, or end my part in it, the goal is to draw so that I could have a tattoo shop, because I think that could be a really, really balanced way of living. And I think I need that in order to have my head straight. Being surrounded by young people coming in, new artists, new people, working with your hands every day and having to be awake and present, I think is going to keep me young So the goal of all this is to stay young for as long as possible.
It's cool that you're aware to know these things about yourself and what you need in life.
Yeah, I hope it works. And then who knows, 6 years from now, I start the tattoo shop and it sucks and I hate it. And then I start.
You want that, like
massages,
things will change,
massages.
But it's a pretty noble goal agenda. What about you, Gavin? Do you do the original questions? Do you have another creative practice? What else do you do that's creative? And because the narrative of this whole podcast is like creative professionals, any genre. But I think you can find this idea of creativity in anything. Like I want to actually get athletes on here because I think there's a huge creative aspect to sports.
Oh yeah.
So the floor is yours. I'm just curious. I mean, you don't need a right answer, but I
have an answer. I'm creative. I'm very obsessed with time. And I am really focused on being creative with my time.
I like that a lot.
And I'm constantly changing and testing out different ways that I can use my time, whether it's like when I wake up and how much I fit into my morning, or whether like how I schedule like my day between like different things, and like my evening, and then like putting it all into a week and rearranging things. And that's because awesome. Time at the end of the day is the only thing we have. It's the only thing that leaves, at least in this life. That's all we know. It's like we're gonna die one day, and that's it. That's all we have. Money comes, money goes. Everything else comes and goes. People come in and out of your life, but time is always leaving. So like I love being creative and figuring out different ways how to use my time to like the best, or not even to the best, so I'm always having fun. And so like everything's like exciting. Like instead of like when I was working at, a 9-to-5 job, instead of taking the subway and like being boring, I would like bike or skateboard, find some other way.
Rollerblade with your shirt off.
Exactly. So I would be like super stoked. Like after work, I had something to look forward to. I'm like, I cannot wait to put my speaker on and just rip home, and then like go on to my next activity. And so it's like, I think, I think it's the easiest way to be creative, to be honest, because everyone's always like, I'm not a creative person. I can't play music. I can't draw. I can't do whatever. But every decision you make in your life is a creative choice. And so like looking at your life as like a piece of art, being creative with your time is something I find really fun to do. And like,
I fucking love that, dude.
Yeah.
That's so well said.
I've experienced it, and it's taught me about my life so much. Living with Gavin, tour and running around with him, it's like he is the most creative person I know in terms of his day to day, and it's so fun to be around. And it's just like he just says yes, and you go for it, and you plan it, you make it right. So like being creative throughout your life, I think it inspires a lot of people you're around, and it's really fun to be around. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
All right, well, we're not just sucking Gavin's dick here. I just want to hear more about the time thing, because it's so it's so true. Like that's another of these. It's like a thing that you don't even think about.
But it's hard. Like not everybody can do it as well. Like it's literally a skill. It's a practice.
Because
that you've
life
practiced for
has
years.
mundane, boring shit. Always logistical things of life. It can't always be fun. But you're saying, how can I squeeze the time I have to facilitate enjoyment?
Exactly. Enjoyment, and just like, it's like,
or discovery
and betterment. Discovery,
curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and how can you change your perspective on the things that you do that you might find mundane? Like if you find like eating or like cooking boring, it's like learn some new things to cook, or like really like spend time like focusing on what you're cooking, like, and like put some different music on, and make it an event. I try and make everything an event. When I wake up, it's like this awesome event. It's like I like look at waking up as just like this new fresh perspective. It's a new day. Like it's like, what are my possibilities? Like what's gonna happen by the time I go to sleep tonight? I don't know, but I'm just gonna have like try and make it as cool as possible.
I love that. Yeah, it's like I'm similar, probably not to the degree of you, but like little things, like even when we were living in Connecticut and you take the same way home every time, you can do it with your eyes closed. I always would like take a long way home, or take a different exit, or just like change it a little,
Exactly.
Because like, why not? You never know what's going to happen, or like maybe you'll get in an accident, or you'll meet some, it's like that. What's the super like cliche, like the butterfly effect almost.
Yeah.
It's such a cliche thing, but it's so true. It's like, you'll never know what instant new experience will lead you on a different path of your like existence moving forward. But to break it down in days, I love that.
Do you think you've had that for a while, or do you think that New York has helped like bring that style of living to existence?
This is my podcast, bro. Good question.
I mean, I think I can do it. I
Great
think I can do it anywhere. I can make it happen anywhere. Like even when I was like living at Sarah's parents' place, like, and we were just in Connecticut, like every day, you know, I made it every moment an event.
Yeah.
Even just being in one house, I had like the best time ever. So it's about like how can I have the best time all the time and be continually learning and enjoying what I'm doing. Obviously, New York makes it a lot easier. There's so many more options.
So many.
You know, it's like there's so many options to
Unlimited.
do anything. It's unlimited options. It
really is.
It's like the paradise for doing this. And yeah, I've been doing this. I think I've been doing this forever. Been doing this just forever. I never.
And there's a little bit of blood in there too, because I'm best friends with Chase, and Chase likes to have a good time too, and knows how to try to have a good time. So it's cool.
So what are you saying? Blood? What is that? What do you mean?
Like in his family.
It runs in the genes.
Like, yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Gavin goes for it for sure.
I think
and
it's
he's super
awesome.
aware of it.
You know what I think? I think everyone. I mean, it's obviously different if you're growing up in Wisconsin in a small town, but like everyone's pretty like experienced, obsessed, and addicted. You know, it's like, of course you want to try to do everything, right? Like some people maybe don't, but I think deep down, humans are social creatures. They're experience hungry. They're curiosity hungry. And it's like, why not? It's like, why not fill your metaphorical palette, you know, with everything, try everything, experience everything, you know, but it takes serious effort. And that's why I think it really is, we were talking sort of like of a creative practice. It's like, you got to really work to do it because it's so easy to fall into mundane comfortability.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be mundane. It doesn't have to be like, you can give me a paperclip. I have the best time with that paperclip.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's easy to be comfortable, and that's why people perhaps
it's
do it.
easy, and it's also it eliminates variables in your life.
Risk,
and people don't don't like risk.
Yeah.
I like risk,
Sure.
and that's something like when I'm talking to an artist and like, what do I do with my life? You know, I'm like, I'm gonna give you my perspective because like I enjoy risk and like I don't care like if I end up like on my ass, so, like I'm still gonna try it. So don't take my advice with a grain of salt because like I will always take the riskier path.
Sure.
Touring presents new things all the time.
But it's also, I was literally just saying that, but it is a regimented same thing
But you
for 7 weeks. Yes, you're doing different cities.
and new places, like the constant. Yeah, like
It's a little of both.
yeah. But it actually is a little both. It's funny because you see you eat at a new restaurant every single day, and then you walk into the venue and your keyboard and drums are perfectly set up the exact same they were yesterday, 400 miles away. So that is a funny juxtaposition.
It is perfect juxtaposition, and it's like a little paradox, but that's great, man. We're gonna clip that and quote the fuck out of that because that was great. Creative with my time.
Cool.
Love that.
But nobody likes
that's what I
you.
live for.
No, I love that. I mean, this is literally the point of the podcast is just pick the brains, and that's great. And I feel like I really resonate with that because it's totally true. And like I'm not saying I do as much as you or better or worse, but like I am always trying to just like I just want to experience other shit, not to be always have fun, you know, like, but just to like because I'm just curious because of like you said, time's fleeting, and I don't want to grow old. Be an old man filled with regret. You know, I wish I did that, or I wish I saw this, or I wish I experienced this good, you know, extreme, tragic, or, you know, the most beautiful thing ever.
I agree. And like you just said, like it could be a tragic moment, but like that moment adds to your life.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, like those moments.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah. It's all part of the experience. You know, it's not the pursuit of happiness. It's just the pursuit of everything.
Right. Yeah. So everyone take a grain of salt with what we're saying because I'm no sage wizard. Gavin might be, but
no, I'm not. I'm just doing it how I do it.
I love it, bro, and I love the honesty. At the end of the podcast, which we are ending, I give the guests a Yu-Gi-Oh card from my collection.
Cool.
That kind of represent them. And so you two are. JT is an OG because we've known each other since we were 5. We lived a mile away from each other for like 10 years. But Gavin, I would consider you in that group. So these are 2 OG of like the God Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Slifer the Sky Dragon, which is JT's, and Obelisk the Tormentor. For Gavin.
Tormentor.
The Tormentor has nothing to do with it, but these are like the OG kind of like primordial.
I feel like this guy.
Let's see, guy.
They're awesome.
And
so those are the mementos. But I thought it was a
Oh, so
wonderful
that's fun.
conversation.
Wait,
Yeah,
oh,
dude.
this.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was
dude.
distracted by this card.
No, I'm glad. And they're sleeved up, so you know they'll be safe.
I'm going
Be
to put
valuable.
this on my refrigerator.
Nice.
Oh, it's a magnet. Right?
Well,
No, it's not.
I
a
have
magnet.
I have
Oh.
magnets.
No, it's not a magnet.
My refrigerator's wood.
Oh well.
But yeah, I guess that's it. Obviously, again, this is gonna come out probably October. Go check out Chelsea Cutler and see if there's a city near you because you guys will be raging, and it's so exciting.
Yes,
And well, your Instagrams will be obviously somewhere clickable and to check it out. But
yeah, come on tour. Our hands will be like this in the air all the time.
yeah, mine
This.
will too.
Just excited.
With carpal tunnel. All right, that's it. Signing off. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. It was the best time.
Woo.